right, everybody. This is Austin and Bob Turner with Two Footed Solutions coming to you today. Hope everybody's having a great day. Wanted to take a couple minutes and share some exciting news. You might have seen it. You might have heard about it. We've been talking about it for several months now. However, we have officially and finally launched our newest brand, Painsolvr. Now, we're really excited about it. I'll get Bob's opinion on this here in a couple seconds. However, those of you that know, we've been in the soccer space for several decades, very, very, very long time. And we created Two Footed Solution to use the beautiful game to create beautiful change. We wanted to get outside of the soccer realm specifically and create a brand that allowed us to solve pains in mass rather than focused on soccer. Focus on the pain at hand, the solutions that are out there, and how we can optimize lives, improve quality of life, and help people and communities around the world. Now, we're really excited about this first pain that we're focusing on. I think everybody out there likes to travel. However, traveling in the modern world can be a nightmare. Now, before we dive into that, Bob, how you doing today?
Good morning, Austin. Doing great.
Good, good, good. All right, so let's talk a little bit about traveling in the modern world. Before we start diving into why and the who's and the how's and the how muches, give me your initial thoughts on booking travel from a parent standpoint, especially a parent who has kids playing soccer and has had kids playing soccer for a number of years, owning a business, traveling frequently for work, and then obviously those frequent family vacations that we take.
Okay. It's a nightmare, not only from a time standpoint, but a financial standpoint. One of your key points earlier was that like to travel. The problem is it's not only the like to travel, it's the need to travel, which is even more important. Liking to travel, I'm willing to spend the time and do it usually. But it's when you need to travel because of business or because of kids having to go to tournaments and that kind of stuff. So now it's a need, it's not a want in some cases or a like. But we've done a lot of traveling over the years. Some of it we were stuck with because of some of the tournaments and the way that they actually treat their customers on travel. But not only that, but I've had a couple of timeshares. So using a timeshare for personal travel or vacation is also kind of, I would say, a nightmare. I hate to use it again, but you get this 1 week you want to go on a certain week and you can't go on that week because sorry, that's all booked up for this one timeshare that they have 11 rooms in something in Hawaii or something. And so, and the expense have $30,000 to $40,000 into a timeshare, and with a maintenance fee of 24, 25 going up every year. And so when we found what we'll get into with travel transparency, it almost sounded too good to be true because it's so easy, so much cheaper. And the biggest thing is it's widespread. You can go anywhere. There's so many different options, and everybody likes options. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, that it's been difficult the whole, forever trying to get this travel done when you're having to call around and call around and call around, and it's so dang expensive. So you're trying to find something else. You spend a whole day sometimes or longer trying to book hotel rooms for these, for tournaments or whatever it is. But what I have found, one of the biggest things is because when I first got into this or we first started this, I was looking at it more of a soccer related because that's our life. But then I got into it and talking to other people, and people have come back to us and said, wait a minute, what about business? I have a church and we travel all over the place and I play other sports. And, so there's just so many options with this. Right now we're hitting soccer because that's our life. But I think that every person out there would find another need for this outside of the soccer world. And I think we're just touching the surface of even how big this can be. And the biggest thing is it's just going to save everybody so much money.
Yeah, I love that and well said. Yeah. So first, before we dive into the actual content of this, the reason for this video, we've been sending emails, we've been reaching out to the soccer community with information on this, I would say one of a kind solution for their travel pains. However, we've been getting a lot of questions in return. So instead of answering a lot of one-off questions, we thought we would just create a video, a couple different pieces of content, get it out there for you guys to understand A, and B, hear from us, hear directly from those that use the platform, have experienced the savings, and understand the value that this solution is going to provide. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about travel transparency and why it exists and where it exists in the marketplace. As Bob mentioned, it doesn't matter if you're traveling for work, for school, for a church, for sports, or for those all too infrequent family vacations. Getting out into the travel arena is something that people do quite often. Bob, did you know that the average sports family spends $12,000 per year for their sports related travel needs?
I did not know that until we got into this. I knew we spent a lot, but I didn't know it was that much
Yeah,
for sure.
12,000 is quite a bit of money, especially for little Johnny who's 7 years old and now having to travel different states and, sometimes different countries in order to participate in these tournaments or road games. That's a significant chunk of cash that's coming out just to be able to participate. But let's talk a little bit about why that 12K figure exists to begin with. Um, do you know, or do you want to explain a little bit about who channel managers are?
The channel manager, so the hotels have many, many, many rooms. They cannot get to every segment to be able to get, as they say, heads in the beds. So what they do is they have this channel manager who comes in and says, okay, we'll take these rooms for you at this super wholesale discounted rate, and we will go out and we will um, hire or get people to come in and book these rooms for you. Hotels are all for it because, again, they don't have the manpower, time, whatever. That's really not their business. So they do that. And then other companies, Expedia, Travel Transparency, all these other companies come in and purchase these rooms and resell them. Is that true?
Yeah,
Is that accurate?
well said. Yeah, well said. And that's exactly right. You have your big hotel chains, timeshares, cruises, rental car companies. Just in hotels alone, there were nearly 1 billion hotel rooms purchased last year. 1 billion rooms purchased. Now, if a Marriott had to satisfy all of that demand, they would need a workforce that would stretch into the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, just to be able to serve all of the customers and meet that demand. Everyone knows that's impossible. So what they do, like you mentioned, they outsource that work to channel managers who work with those individual companies, i.e. the booking.coms, the Expedias, even your travel agents out there, in order to, like you said, get those heads in beds. And it is a symbiotic win-win relationship for all involved. Marriott gets people to book their rooms, fill up that capacity. Now, why is it beneficial to the Expedias, the Orbits, and the booking.coms? And that's really the real question, and why travel transparency exists to begin with. And I'll tell you why. When each of these different third-party providers, whether it be an Expedia, a Booking, a Travelocity, a Trivago, a Kayak, any of the travel agents that you may or may not have worked with in the past, when they get those wholesale room rates directly from the channel managers, they add retail upcharges to that room rate and then offer it to you or us as consumers. Now, in some cases, 50, 100, 150, 200% increase to that wholesale rate that it is purchased from those channel managers. Now, were you aware, Bob, that Expedia made $17 billion last year?
I was not until I saw it on some news form that I had seen, and it was pretty astounding. I knew they were big, but that seems to be a lot of money.
Yeah. Booking.com, 11 billion, Travelocities of the world, 2 billion. And how many discount travel sites are out there? There's 10, 15, 20, especially when you're talking about international travel. There are a ton of discount travel sites making a significant amount of profit in the hundreds of millions to $1 billion range. Now, where does that money come from? Right? We talked about it a little bit. There's wholesale, and then there's retail. Theoretically, when you purchase your room or a cruise or a rental car or an airlines from any of these various discount travel sites, they are making a profit off of the backs of you as the consumer. 17 billion, they purchase those rooms at wholesale rates. They make that profit based off of you coming to their site and actually clicking purchase, giving your credit card information, and proceeding with the completion of that reservation. Now, Bob, you're obviously in a much different social economical class than I am. What does that do for you? How does that make you feel knowing that every time that you've gone to a booking, an Orbitz or a Travelocity to make those reservations over the years, that you are contributing to that steep, significant amount of profit that they're making?
Yeah, I would have thought, because for us as a consumer, they're actually giving us a discount compared to what you would do going direct. So if you called Marriott and said, "Hey, I need a room for, this night," it's $200. You call it, see Expedia, and they're, 170. So it appears as though, okay, you're really getting a decent discount by going through these Expedias, excuse me, of the world. And until now, there was really no other option. So the best thing was for us to be able to, well, at least we saved $30 or whatever it might be. So I think at that point it was, it seemed as though to me to be a good option. So what we now are trying to do is we're going to roll something out that shows that there's a better option. So you can take the good option or you can take the better option. It's up to you. And I'm choosing. And a lot of us are choosing now because there is another option to take that option. And, again, I don't begrudge anybody from making a living off of this stuff, but I think now we have an option that's going to save us a lot of money to make the living that we make a little bit easier on the money that we're going to be able to save through this program.
Yeah, well said. And I like that $200 figure because it really does put some context and clarity to the actual pain or problem that's at hand. Hotels charging $200 if you book directly through the hotel, or you can go to a discount site like your Expedia, your Orbitz, your Travelocity, your Booking.com, and secure it for 170. However, that room at the wholesale rate might be $100. It might be a $70 upcharge. It might be $100 upcharge, or you could be traveling on a busy holiday like 4th of July, New Year's, Christmas, Easter, and various other times throughout the year. And it could be a 100% upcharge, 150, 200% upcharge on that wholesale rate, which is why I am most excited about this new solution in travel transparency and getting into the hands of as many people as possible. Now, let's talk a little bit about travel transparency and the business model that they have. Bob, you're a Costco member, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the Costco model. What is their approach? How do you become a member? What does that look like?
Well, you become a member and pay your yearly dues, and that gives you access to the Costco stores, online or in person. And you go in, and theoretically, most of the time, they have a much better price than what you could buy it on the outside for. So it more than pays for your yearly fee, depending on what you have. I have the business one, so it more than pays for that um, every year, obviously, by using that. between the gas and everything else that's purchased. So it,
Plus there's reward points, and you get,
yeah.
that check at the end of the year with the rebates that you gain just from shopping in the club itself. Now, what is the alternative to Costco? Well, you have your Vons, you have your Food Lions, you have your Albertsons, your Smart and Finals, your Whole Foods, your Sprouts, and all of those other retail grocery chains out there. So if you don't want to pay the membership fee of Costco, fine, no big deal. There's plenty of other options that you can, as a consumer, put your spending power towards. And that's exactly what we're offering here. If you're comfortable using booking.com and you're okay with paying those retail rates on everything that you use to book for the platform, fantastic, no big deal. However, there is another way, and in many cases, a better way to secure your travel. And I love that Travel Transparency took the Costco style approach. It allows them the ability to offer wholesale rates and everything on their platform, because you pay a one-time membership fee and then the yearly dues. Once you become a member, you're a member for life, and you have the accessibility to be able to secure reservations and accommodations on millions of properties around the world. Same accessibility as what you'd find on those other guys, however, a significantly cheaper price. Now, Bob, what if I could tell you that each time you book a sports travel, a business trip, a family vacation moving forward, you could save between 40 and 70%? How would that make you feel?
I would like it.
And I think most people would. Now, with all that money that you're saving, what would you do with it? Right? If you saved $100 a trip, or if some of these bigger vacations where we go to Hawaii or Mexico as a family, and you're saving in the thousands, what would you put that money towards?
Oh, it depends every year, but you could put it towards another vacation. It could set you up. It could pays your kids, the kids, boy, saves the pays the kids car payment or pays the kids this. I mean, there's a way that would be spending that money much more efficiently than it is to spend it unnecessarily on a trip now that there's a different option.
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to. Everybody's got needs and necessities. Everybody's got bills, and having a little bit extra money in your pocket on each trip that you book, it goes a long way to a better or improved quality of life. And going back to Painsolvr's mission, we run towards the pain, we find a solution for that pain, and we improve quality of lives for the communities in need. And now I think the travel community, I talked a little bit earlier about there being nearly 1 billion bookings made last year alone. I think the travel community is pretty extensive and expansive. And I think there's a lot of people who've had those dream vacations that they've been planning for and saving and planning and saving for a number of years, only to learn that either A, the price of travel has increased, B, the dates that they want to go on are no longer available, or C, have to put that money towards something else for an emergency or this, that, or the other. Ultimately, now with this solution in travel transparency, not only do you have access to everything that these other guys have, but you gain access to it at a wholesale rate once you become a member. Any additional thoughts you want to add on that, Bob?
No, I think I mean, no, but yes. I think that is the case. And I think in people that we've talked to now that have actually got excited about it is because of the options so many. Some of them, this looks just like a timeshare. So, be honest with you, when you first came to me with it, sometime back, it seemed as though that's what it is. But once I dug deeper into it, it's not a timeshare. It's not close to a timeshare. It offers you much more at a, substantially reduced rate than what a timeshare does. It gives you just many more options, many more potential travel opportunities. And then the hotel part of it for me is a big deal because of that type of travel where you're having to go for 3 days for a tournament or for 2 days for a business trip, having access to those in addition to a week's vacation is huge. I don't have that opportunity through the timeshare that we have access to. I There's none of that. You get one or two, or depending on how you use it, 1 or 2 or 3 weeks a year. If you can find the right time under the restrictions they put, you have to call within 60 days and you have to do, sorry, there's no rooms here and whatever. Here, that's not the case. And then that hotel room, some it may not be a big thing, but I think for most of us, that's going to be very well used. We've used that. We've compared. We've had hotel rooms that we looked at and, we're able to switch over. I will say there's a cruise that one of our family members went on, and they had it booked out at $7,000. The exact cruise turned out to be a little over four once they went through this. And we're talking about, again, like I said, apples to apples, comparing exactly the exact cruise that they had and the savings. So those opportunities are out there every day. I mean, just it's a win-win for all of us. And the hotels aren't getting hurt because they don't care. They sold it at their wholesale rate. They're probably happier because the person standing at that counter is happier now because they got it even cheaper and they're standing in their hotel at a much cheaper rate, which means they may have more opportunities to buy things at the hotel that they may be room service now because we save money. We're going to, we're going to splurge and have room service. So I know that got off target a little bit, but I just thought of that. So threw it out there.
I love that. And that actually happened to me not that long ago. I went to Atlanta for a trip and I was there for 3 days. The discount travel site, I think I was going through booking.com, had priced it out at $169 per night. The hotel had priced it out at $179 per night. I went through Travel Transparency and I booked it for $109 per night. So $50 savings off the discount site, $60 savings off of booking it directly with the hotel. Pretty cool. When I got to the front desk and that front desk lady looked at my rate, she was like, holy crap, where did you get this? Like, how did you get it for so cheap? And then I needed to extend my stay. So I went down to the front desk the next day and I said, hey, I need to extend my stay. And she said, we can't offer you that same rate. I don't even have a discount code that will get the rate to that 109 figure. Whoever you got this rate from, you need to go to them and hopefully they still have room availability. Popped on to traveltransparency.com right there on my cell phone, secured another room, extended my stay, and did buy room service, which is sort of funny that you mentioned that because that is something that happened to me just a couple months ago. Another story, and I think this one is the biggest and I don't know if coolest story involving the power of travel transparency. And this goes into a little bit of international travel as well. Anybody that's been to the San Diego County Fair, Orange County Fair, LA County Fair, they might have come across people who are pushing or trying to get new members for travel transparency. Met a lady who thought travel transparency was too good to be true. However, her daughter and son-in-law were getting married. They wanted to buy them a honeymoon for their wedding present. And they wanted to go to Greece. They had Mykonos. They had all these beautiful locations that they were interested in going on this 10-day honeymoon. Well, when they had priced it out, it was about $17,000 in order for them to be able to give that gift for that wedding. And the daughter was excited. The son-in-law was excited. However, the mother and father, they weren't all excited about that $17,000 price point to send their daughter and son-in-law on that honeymoon. So they met travel transparency rep at the San Diego County Fair, decided to step into the office and learn a little bit more about the program. They instantly became members because that same trip that they were pricing and sourcing at that $17,000 price point, they got for $4,500. Now, $4,500, 17 grand, 4,500. I think anybody would like an additional $12,000 remaining in their pocket to do whatever the heck that they want to do with it. And that's it. That's the power. It doesn't matter if we're going on a 1 day business trip, a weekend long getaway with the wife or significant other, all of those traveling games or tournaments, or those that are fortunate enough to go on those more extended vacations. Every single time that you book the travel that you're going to be doing anyways, you have the opportunity to secure it at that wholesale rate, as opposed to those retail rates with those significant upcharges, sometimes 50, 100, 200% higher than that wholesale rate to begin with. Now, Bob, one final question for you, and then we'll part ways for this one. Who is this for? Right? We talked about the benefits, we talked about the solution and the pains of traveling in the modern world. Who is travel transparency for?
Hmm. I think it would be easier to say who it isn't for, because I think it's for everybody. Who it isn't for, really, is somebody that never travels, never goes away, never travels any in any manner. And then as I say that, it's not true, because they could buy it, and they have a program where you can come in and they could have their kids use it. So I guess even that doesn't work. But really, the only one is people that don't travel, because anybody that travels should, I would say, at least look at this program and see if we're lying, or see if there's something that they're missing. Or B, once they find that out to be not the case, you would sign up for it, because this is a lifetime, one-time lifetime fee. It's not like these other things, and there's none of this maintenance fees that these timeshares put on. So this is a lifetime access to this program that will pay for itself very, very, very quickly. In some cases, in a couple trips, and in one case, saved them $3,000 right off the bat. In the other case, it saved, 12 grand, more than pays for this thing over and over and over and over again. So again, everybody can use it. If you don't travel at all, you might buy it and gift it to your two kids or something, if you had kids. So even they would use it. But I think that's the ones that wouldn't use it. I think everybody else would find a benefit in this for sure.
Love that. Yeah, that legacy program definitely is powerful, and it does make it for everybody. Even if you don't travel yourself, you have someone in your circle, whether it be a family, a friend, someone close to you that does travel and would benefit from a program like this. You in turn rack up the rewards points, and maybe you can get out there and get on the road, or get out there and go to a place that you've always wanted to go to, tick off a bucket list, if you will.
Even a
Now,
staycation. In some cases, they would do a staycation and just
yeah.
be San Diego ones aren't going to want to travel. You have a grandmother wouldn't want to get on an airplane anymore, but she might travel to a much closer distance and drive and spend a weekend away, getting out of the house. So those points definitely would be put to good use, without a doubt.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, just to touch on a little bit about what you had mentioned is things paying for itself. The average member pays for their membership in savings after 5 trips. There's 2 different membership types. We have the individual and the family plan. You can learn more about that by visiting painsolvr.com. Go to the website, lays out everything, answers frequently asked questions, really spells it out. We've got a bunch of great incentives, not only for becoming a member, but if you believe that this is something that might work for you or piques your interest enough to want to learn more, there's a way that you can jump on our calendar, sit on a conference call similar to this, and get your questions asked and answered, go over real life examples, and really vet this to see if this is something that's going to work for you and your family. Just for doing that, we're giving away 7-day vacation. We're giving away airfare for 2 plus 2 nights in a hotel, wireless Bluetooth speakers, wireless headsets. We're giving away almost $2,000 in free gifts just for you jumping on a call to learn if this is something that's going to benefit you, help you and your family, Not only cut costs, save time, but also go on more experiences. So, Painsolvr.com, take a look, watch the videos, read the frequently asked questions, learn a little bit more about the program itself. And if you're interested, even remotely, in learning more, schedule a call, jump on our calendars, and let's have a brief discussion. In that 5-10 minutes of time, you'll know pretty quickly if this is a program that's going to benefit you and your family. If it doesn't, hey, no big deal. You gave 5-10 minutes to learn, and in return, you get $2,000 in free gifts. If you decide that you want to become a member, not only do you get those $2,000 in free gifts, we are also going to send you on your first trip for free. We've got two great options. Sunset World Resorts. They're in Cancun, Mexico. Two different resorts to choose from, 5-day, 4-night stays. And then we also have, for those that like to stay a little bit more local or domestic, Vista Cay Resorts in Orlando, Florida. Stone's throw away from Disney World. Any of those out there that have always wanted to go to Disney World or visit Orlando, another great option. Again, 5-day, 4 nights. That's about a $1,500 value. Absolutely free. We're going to cover that soon. If you become a member, you get to go on your first trip on us. All right, Bob, any final parting words?
No, I think it would, everybody should at least ask the question and get on a call and get a little bit more information. I think it would benefit you very much so, at least to find out what we're saying and make sure it's factual. That's it. Have a great day.
Well said. This is Painsolvr signing out.